So, hello everybody, here we are back with Eldritch Horror, and today we are going to go to Antarctica. We are going to play Rise of the Elder Things, which is a part of the Mountains of Madness expansion. It's, I think, one of two ancient ones that comes with this particular expansion. Rise of the Elder Things is especially interesting because it uses the Antarctica sideboard, which I'm going to show you straight away after this. So first of all, let's take a look at our ancient one. It's got 16 dooms, so we've already placed our big Cthulhu on space 16. I've already also put together the Mythos deck. What we now need to do is we need to remove a couple of monsters from the cup. We need to put aside an Elder Thing monster, one giant penguin monster. The funny thing is, those giant penguins in this, I don't know if you've read At the Mountains of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft. It's actually a very good novel, or novella I should say. It's probably more of a novella. And it actually, the giant penguins aren't really monstrous at all. They are just basically giant, blind, white penguins that basically walk around underground, and they are not really, horrible at all, but nor are the elder things. I think this is really important because this is probably one of the stories by Lovecraft outside of the Dreamland cycle where he is at his most, I would say, humanistic or humane. Basically what happens is that what they find in Antarctica is an outpost, the city of the Elder Things. And the Elder Things are actually godlike creatures to us because they are really, 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 really powerful. And it turns out that they actually made humans as a side effect of an experiment they were running. And so they come across this expedition, or the expedition actually comes across them. And when the expedition is then followed by a second expedition, they find the humans, you know, taken apart and dissected. And it turns out that the Elder Things are actually scientists that had been in deep freeze, if you like, in the Antarctic ground, and were woken by the humans, and basically did what you do as a scientist. They dissected their the things that they didn't know, which were the humans. It's a very interesting story, really. All right, let's see. So we have set aside a couple of monsters that we need to set aside. Proto-Shoggoth, the giant white penguins, Shoggoth, and last but not least, an Elder Thing. Let's see. After an investigator resolves an otherworld encounter, he may move to the plateau of Leng, which is actually on the sideboard. We're going to look at this in a minute. When 4 mysteries have been solved, investigators win the game. When the doom advances to 0, flip this sheet and resolve the A Dark God Awakens effect on the back. Cultists. Cultists test law -1. They have 1 toughness and do 1 damage, and the strength test basically is unmodified. If you pass the law test, you free the victim's mind from the alien magic, defeat this monster, and gain 1 random ally asset from the deck. Eons ago, the elder things were driven underground by the changing climate, hibernating in the cities they had built into the mountains or in the depths of the ocean. With the disturbance of the Miskatonic expedition, they have begun to reclaim the world they once dominated. Our first mystery, first of four, is mysterious disappearances. People have been reported missing all over the world, but more alarming are those who have returned, proclaiming the benevolence of the elder things and the potential for a grand alliance. As an encounter, an investigator on a city space containing a clue may attempt to investigate the eerie disappearances he draws and resolves a mysterious disappearances special encounter. At the end of the mythos phase, if there are clues on this card equal to half, investigators solve this mystery. Okay, now these are the special cards, the special encounter cards that come with the Elder Things, with the expansion. So basically this would be one of those, and this is we draw it and it actually says mysterious disappearances. So that's good. We're going to put those in here. Now, now that I've introduced you to our big bad, maybe they are not so bad after all, who knows? We're going to put those up here. We are going to look at our investigators, and it's the ladies that managed to kill the King in Yellow. Up here we have the phenomenal Lola Hayes, crazed veteran of the stage who played one of the main characters in The King in Yellow and went crazy and then basically admitted herself and then discharged herself and saved the world. She has an 18 Derringer, and she's also improved her, her influence to 5. Up next we have Trish Scarborough, who is the spy who loved us. She is in Krasnoyarsk. She has her 45 automatic, and she and Lola share the hunter's relationship. When you or your partner are in the same space, either of you may exhaust this card before making a combat check against a monster to reduce its toughness by 1 to a minimum of 1 during this combat check. Next up is Lily Chen, the special girl. She is in Tokyo, where she's in Shanghai, and she is going to try and save the world again. Basically everyone's personal stories have been set to 0, so she has another try at this. Everyone has also undergone therapy, of course, and everyone is now feeling fit and happy, and everybody's like maybe also a little bit crazy. Up here we have our dear friend, close to my heart, Zoe. Zoe is the crazy cook with her holy cross who's going to conquer the world. She also has a very interesting she has a very interesting ability. As an action, we've never done this though, if we have fewer than 2 task assets, we can gain 1 unique task asset. So we'll see, maybe we will do this if we have an action. I mean, because I remember there were times when she was basically not doing anything, she couldn't do anything, we could have done that as an action. So, we're first now going to fill the resolve as well. An ally, we have a hired mask as an item, a non-weaponry item, I should say. We have, let's shuffle these a little bit. We have a puzzle box as a weapon. We have to offer, sheesh, the weapons deck is really small actually. We have a dynamite, And as our task/service that we can acquire, we have delivery service. So let's look at the sideboard. I'm gonna zoom in. And here we are. So basically what we have here is Plateau of Leng, Snowy Mountains, Frozen Waste, Lake Camp, Miskatonic Outpost, City of the Elder Things. And we also have encounter cards for these spaces. So here we have the City of the Elder Things, Snowy Mountains and Plateau of Leng cards. And then we also have what I would like to call the camp cards in the Frozen Waste. These locations are a little bit more like the locations you would know from Arkham Horror, in that they actually contain descriptions of things that you can do instead of encountering encountering a card on the location. So here you can take a local action, you can test will or spend one focus. If you pass or spend the focus, improve one skill of your choice. Lay camp, test influence. If you pass, gain one dog sled unique asset, and so on and so forth. Now, how do we get to Antarctica actually? Well, first of all, we can either move from Antarctica on the main board to the Miskatonic Outpost, or when an investigator performs an acquire asset action, he may spend 2 successes to move to Miskatonic Outpost. So basically it's a extended travel action, if you like. Okay, I think we are done. So now what we need to do is we need to spawn one gate, and it opens at the pyramids. We draw one monster from the bag. Oh, and it's a cultist. We spawn 2 clues. And number 1 goes to space 20. It's actually just outside of Shanghai. Something for Lily. And 1 actually goes to the Miskatonic Outpost. So now we have 1 on the outpost board and 1 on the main board. And now is the time to look at the board and see what we're going to do. And so here we are, everything is set up. Our investigators are in their relevant starting locations: Krasnoyarsk, Rome, Shanghai and Tokyo. We also have the expedition encounter, which happens to be in Sydney. So a lot of things are happening in this area and a lot of things are happening in that area over there. So if we want to go to Antarctica, we could just basically go here, or somebody could do an influence test. So what we are going to do now is we're going to determine first player, and as usual, because it worked so well the last time, it is going to be our friend Lola. And for her first action, she's going to test her influence, for which she gets 5 dice. And she's going to try and acquire the hired muscle, because not only does it give her an additional strength point, which is really good, but she also needs an ally to fulfill her personal story. So we're going to start with Lola, who's going to test her influence. And she gets 1 success only. That is not enough. And 1 success buys her the delivery service. What does that do if she takes it? When you gain this card, immediately give any number of item possessions to another investigator on any space. No, we don't do this because we don't have anything that we could give. For her second action, let's see. Oh yeah, why not? She's going to travel to space 20. Next up is Lily Chen. And Lily is going to firstly prepare for travel, because that's always a good idea. Oops. So she takes a ship token, and she's also going to do a focus action, because focus is always a good thing. Next up, we have our dear friend up there in Krasnoyarsk, who is Trish Scarborough, and she is going to she's going to travel to Istanbul, and she is going to perform a focus action as well. Or maybe she should test her influence, because her influence is actually 3. Yes, she's going to test her influence to see, can she actually maybe buy something. And she gets 2 successes, which will buy her the hired mask. Why not? Gain +1 strength. Seeing as she is a fighter, she has a 45 automatic. That's because the hired muscle will also work on normal strength tests, not just combat tests. Alrighty, so we replace the hired muscle with a museum curator. Next up is then crazy cook Zoe. And Zoe just loves to kill things. She really does. Unfortunately, she has no weapons whatsoever. So what she's going to do is she is going to chance her luck regardless. She's going to do a focus action to gain 1 focus token, and then she is going to move to face the cultist. So that would be the action phase. Next up is the encounter phase, and first of all we're going to encounter the clue on space 20. Now space 20 is a city space. You've become increasingly desperate in your fight against the Elder Things and are exploring darker measures. A member of the Silver Twilight Lodge offers you aid in combating the mind control of the Elder Things. You may gain a Dark Pact condition to improve will and 1 other skill of your choice. First of all, we're going to gain this clue, and I'm not so sure about this Dark Pact thing. No, we're not going to do this. We're not going to gain a Dark Pact. We will just stick with the clue. But we are on a city space, and if we are on a city space, we can contain... Oh, okay, sorry. I should actually have tried something else. I should have used the eerie disappearance special encounter to solve this mystery. My mistake. We're going to do this presently. Okay, mysterious disappearances. My mistake. The police have captured a smuggler who reveals that a group of missing persons are being transported out of the city. You attempt to negotiate with the smuggler to learn where the victims are being taken. Test influence. Well, I mean, who better to test influence than our friend Lola? Lola's going to test her influence. Let's see if that works. She has 5 dice. And she passes with 2 successes. Brilliant. You follow the smuggler's instructions and arrive at a warehouse protected by a magic barrier. Test law. Will. Her will is... No, test law. Her law is 2. Okay. We'll see if that works. And she passes. Brilliant. If you pass, you dispel the magic and rescue the missing persons. Place this clue on the active mystery. Okay. So she places the clue on the active mystery. Woohoo, well done. We put this on the active mystery. Not too bad. We just need 1 more. Next up is our friend Lily Chen in Shanghai. She gets a generic city, she gets a Shanghai encounter. Okay, I need to shuffle these because they haven't been shuffled since we last played. You know that this is the horrible corner for her. If she ever hits Sydney, Lily Chen, I mean, she's probably gonna get like 5 conditions and is gonna die presently because she's an unlucky girl. So we have to get her out of there. We're gonna put her on a boat to Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what we do with her. So, Shanghai. The shrine holds an abundance of ancient relics. Improve your lore. And she can improve it twice, actually, because she has this special ability. So her lore is now 4. Your eye catches strange figures written on the ceiling. You find it hard to look away. Test will. If you fail, the writing seems to move on its own. Gain 1 hallucination condition. Way to go! Test will. 3 dice. Oh god, this can never end well. And she passes. She doesn't get a hallucination on her. She doesn't get a condition on her first turn. This, very good. We're improving over last time. Next up is Trish Scarborough, who's going to have an encounter in Istanbul. Let's see how Istanbul treats her. Constantinople, Byzantium. Let's see what happens. Istanbul. The police pay you generously for information about a local crime. Improve influence. Very good. Influence +1. Oh god. The police pay you generously for information about the local crime lord. Improve influence. His men retaliate by drugging you. Okay. Test will -1. Her will is 2, so she gets 1 die. Well, we'll see what happens. And she passes. If you pass, you feel spiritually enhanced. Gain 1 boon condition. Okay, she is drugged and basically feels spiritually enhanced. I mean, that is some drug, isn't it? I mean, yeah. Let's see. Let's take all of these conditions and let's make 1 thick deck out of them. 1 really large deck out of them, I mean, that's funny. Psychotropic drugs. I mean, that's what our spy is into. She takes drugs from weird people and feels spiritually enhanced. I don't know. Okay. We also need her to improve her will. Okay, so we're going to check for a boon. No. Boon, blessed. She's blessed. That's brilliant. Yoo! Wow. Blessed on the first round. That's lucky. I mean, she'll probably lose it because next up will probably be a reckoning and then she will lose it because that's what always happens with Trish. But, it was fun while it lasted for like 5 seconds. Yeah. We'll see where we get with this. All right. Next up is our friend Zoe, who first needs to encounter the cultist. So first, she rolls... Darn, I didn't look at that. She rolls lore, not will, for the will test. Oops, for the horror check. And her lore is only 2. Her lore is only 3. But she passes. All right, so... If you pass the lore test, you free the victim's mind from the alien magic, defeat this monster, and gain 1 random ally asset from the deck. So basically, she gets this monster, which she needs to keep because she needs to get 5 toughness of monsters, and she has 1 at the moment. So let's just look at the ally deck, and let's just give it a good shuffle again. And let's just pull 1 random ally for our friend Zoe. And Zoe gets a conspiracy theorist. He looks actually like Sigmund Freud. Ally, gain +2 influence during research encounters. Roll a die on a 4, 5, or 6 during reckoning. Gain 1 clue. Not too bad at all. Yeah, that's brilliant. Very good indeed. So, and now she has an encounter in a gate encounter, an otherworld encounter, not too bad. We haven't had one of those because remember last time when we played, we basically had the what you call it, the performance cards from the King in Yellow expansion. So now, for the first time in a very long time, we're actually shuffling the Otherworld encounter deck. Let's see what we get. We get the very fittingly the Plateau of Leng. Something on the horizon attracts your attention. Before you can identify it, a blinding snowstorm picks up. Through the snow, you are no longer sure of the direction you're going. Resolve the pass effect to press forward or resolve the fail effect to turn back. Okay, we're going to do the pass thing. Pushing through the storm, you see a mountain ahead of you and Leng disappearing behind you. You attempt to climb the steep slope. Test strength -1. Her strength is 3. So she rolls 2 dice. She has 1 focus. She fails, so she uses her focus, and she passes. Woohoo! If you pass, you reach the top and realize you've climbed Mount Everest. Close this gate and improve your will. Oh, by the way, she could also have used an additional die because she's in another world and she has the world ain't big enough for both of us relationship with Lily Chen in Shanghai. So she improves her will, which is already 4, so it's now 5. That's not too shabby. The problem is we don't use it. Well, we do use it for other horror checks. Brilliant. Okay. And she has actually closed this gate. Not too bad. We've closed our first gate. Nobody needs gate trophies for their personal story, so we're just going to put it away. So, yep. This is actually very, very brilliant. What do we need to pass here? If Trish gets 2 or more claw tokens in 1 round. Yeah. Okay, brilliant. So that is the first round. Thanks very much for watching. I'm going to put this together. I'm going to try and find some atmospheric music as an intro music, and we'll talk soon. Bye bye.